Taupiri te maunga. Taupiri is the mountain. Waikato te awa, Waikato is the river. And te whirowhiro is the tangata, te whirowhiro is the man. That shows, just in reciting the pepeha, the closeness of association between the land element, the water element, and the people element. And they're really joined together. And we look at them as ancestors of the people. There is no separation. We have an obligation and responsibility to look after the land, to look after the river, and to look after the people. The raupatu, or the loss of authority and control around those areas, is absolutely devastating, because it's not just about the confiscation of land or the confiscation of authorities over the waterways. It is actually the psychological damage that it does to Māori. There has been a number of clawback controls that we've tried to exercise to regain and to reignite really that obligation and responsibility to the maunga, to the whenua, to the awa, and for the well-being of the people.
The collaborative and collective nature of working together will continue into the future.
Rangi Awhia was the breadbasket of the Central North Island. So we would export wheat, we would export flax, we would export pigs, we would export a whole lot of things coming out of that region because it was so fertile. That was the principal reason that George Grey wanted to invade the Waikato, so that he could have control of that industry of food for the fledgling city of Auckland. The King Tāwhiao said, if you cross the Mangatāwhiri, then we will be at war. That was the Aukati boundary. That was the final line in the sand for the mana purposes of both the kingitanga and for Waikato as a people. So after July 1863, when Duncan Cameron sent his troops across the Mangatāwhiri at the behest, though, of Governor George Grey, that the battle started at Mere Mere, at Rangiriri. The promise was there that it would only be the fight of an adult, but the amount of children and the bones of those children still in Kopuera in the lake, being shot from the hill as they were trying to escape across the lake, was prolific. And then, of course, the government sent their warships up the river through Ngārua Wāhia. The home of the kingitanga was abandoned. Up the Waipa, they circumvented Pāterangi and went around to Rangi Awhia, where we had promises that our women and children would not be molested. Our elderly were housed at Rangi Awhia. With those promises being disregarded, the burning of the church with our people inside, and then culminating in Ōrākau. That was pretty much the final battle within the Waikato context. One of the major occurrences that happened in the 1860s following the war was that the colonial government couldn't afford to pay the soldiers, and so they allotted sections of land, and especially within the confiscation boundary, the Rohe Raupatu. So we're sitting at the bankside of the Waikato River in Hamilton East, and so Hamilton East is made up of a number of sections, town sections, that were granted to the militia and to the colonial soldiers of the time. And actually it was because of those town sections that towns popped up in those areas. Cambridge, Morrinsville, there were others in Te Kaupata and places like that. And the consequences of the war, we find that they invited settlers to come and populate those lands. They didn't invite Māori to populate their lands. Actually, they push them into exile. We look around, we have some of the highest incarceration rates, we have some of the highest removal of tamariki rates, we have some of the highest poverty rates, we have the poorest health rates. And we absolutely believe that is a consequence of raupatu and those dishonourable deeds. And so that mamae is still being felt, even 160 years on. We can allow the anger to dissipate, but we can never allow ourselves to fall into social amnesia because of those events. And the premise of the 1995 settlement in particular was I riro whenua atu me hoki whenua mai. As land was taken, so should land be returned. To be able to reconnect with the river, to be able to connect with the maunga and the land, to be able to reconnect with those key elements that are part and parcel of our DNA, meant that the development of the people could be advanced. In 1995 value, it was about $11.5 billion that was lost to Waikato. But one of the things was we didn't want to cripple the economy of New Zealand, and we accepted a settlement in the vicinity of $170 million worth of land. We have a strategic viewpoint about our people will be healthy and wealthy, that they will be gainfully employed, that they will be pono to the kingitanga, to the principles and values that the kingitanga offer, that they will be bilingual and biliterate. And so whilst there were mixed opinions about whether Waikato should settle, today I think though that every iwi in the country has benefited from charging down that pathway.